Wonder Woman 769, Mariko Tamaki writing with Steve Pugh on art. And I guess this is technically the end of the run, although I think she is writing the Future State issues. So that may actually really be the end of the run in that sense, especially given how this ends and it kind of teases that Future State's going to be a factor in whatever, at least thematically for what's been happening. But this is, we ended last issue with Liar Liar showing up to the hospital from her perspective, being this castle, and she was in this suit of armor. She's going to kill the Ice Princess, which is Diana. And this is all from Diana's perspective at the start of the issue, where she comes out of the hospital, Liar Liar's there, she's mad that she's not calling her the right thing. And I do actually like the narrative structure here, where everything is in the real world perspective, everything's how Diana sees it in the real world. Liar Liar's just in a jumper, or sorry, a sweater, with a with a skirt or whatever. And it's the moment where she says, okay, let me see things how you see them, and Liar Liar touches the lasso. That's when we switch to the fantasy version of everything, and then from that point on we stick to it until things wrap up. So I like that choice to not show it from her, because obviously last issue we were sort of jumping in and out of Liar Liar's vision. I think it was good in this issue to not do it until that moment, until Wonder Woman was going to see it that way.
Right, because Wonder Woman makes the decision. Yeah. That's where it's going. Whereas, it's not necessarily like, because again, Wonder Woman doesn't want to defeat Liar Liar. She wants to, rehabilitate her. So of course she's not going to go in guns blazing, which I do like, and she wants to see it from her perspective.
Which it does, get to that point where she ends up staying at the Amazon embassy to be, raised or looked after by Amazon.
She collects villains as friends. I love that about Diana, because we get another daughter of one of her villains staying with the Amazonians.
I know.
And anywhere else I would kind of be upset because now it feels like a trope, but with Diana it just feels natural because she does want to help. It's
better than sit at your Arkham Asylum. So
true.
I mean, I really hope that no other writers make her a villain again. I kind of would think it'd be far more interesting if Liar Liar does just become an ally who can then sort of help occasionally with her powers.
Yeah, I mean, if they do use her, I wouldn't mind it being in one of those, she's just being misguided, right? Where she's not an overall villain, but almost okay, she goes out into the world and something happens to her, right? And it ends up making her break. And it's almost involuntary type villain, because I do think her power set's pretty cool. It does set her apart even from Max Lord, who's it's just basic telepathy. Hers is
telepathy.
No, what?
You said telepathy.
Telepathy, yeah, telepathy.
Telepathy.
That's it. Telepathy. That's what I said.
No, the P's first. You're saying the telepathy. Telepathy.
Is that better? I'll slow it down.
It sounds weird when you say it that slow, but
yeah.
Telepathy.
Right. Anyways,
telepathy.
I do like that she makes people see her world as it is, versus Max, who you just assume is basic mind control. So there is almost an empathy to her that I feel she can almost misuse.
Did you? I don't know. I think if I would ever have predicted that I wanted to see what a bunny dragon looked like, but I appreciate that I did get to see it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because she rides her bunny, which is turned into a dragon, but it's still bunny faced. It's
right.
It's rather wonderful, honestly.
I never thought I would want to see Wonder Woman fight a bunny dragon on top of it.
But yeah, here we are.
Here we are. So
here we are. But I like that when Liar Liar runs away from the fight, and then Wonder Woman chases her down it's like the castle thing, but it turns into just the hall in the hospital. Right. It becomes more normal as she goes down it. But it turns out she's already evacuated Maxwell Lord, who's sitting in a coma. Of course.
So Etta airlifted him out. Which is pretty cool.
And she tries to, she holds her hand and says, "Look, I found out I was the daughter of Zeus, and I chose to be something different. I chose to be something better and not be defined by what my father is." And that's where she makes this choice. The end of the issue is interesting though. I love the idea that Maxwell Lord in his coma can still use his telepathy to reach out to someone, and he's reaching out to Liar Liar. It's actually insane to me that this is not continuing for more arcs, because this seems like a really good story device.
Yeah, maybe it was supposed to, and then
maybe, yeah.
Whatever happened jumped out. That said, as much as I do like Tamaki, I feel like some of her Wonder Woman hasn't been her best work.
It's definitely I mean, her X-23 and her being super stuff is definitely better than a Wonder Woman.
And but maybe it was gonna round into shape, and we just didn't have the time. Like, stuff happens. Just I think of like Brian Hill on Outsiders, where I felt like there was more that they could have done, and it's just like, hey, we're switching directions on stuff.
I think the idea of like Lara trying to be a good character and try to help Wonder Woman, but having like her comatose father talking in her ear and try to manipulate her is a really interesting kind of status quo to be in. But it seems like it's going into the future state stuff, which is a 2-issue thing. But then we've got a new run, we got a new writer, so we'll see how that goes. But
which is completely disengaged from what it was before, right?
Yeah.
From reading the solicits.
I think so, yeah. That said, I am excited for Tamaki Detective Comics. I think that should be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully Wonder Woman doesn't suffer.
I'm being forced to read because I want to read Damien by Josh Williamson.
You're not being forced to... You want to read Tamaki's Detective anyway. Come on now. Don't start.
I want to read less stuff and have more time to do other things.
There's already less books from March onwards.
I know.
Like, much less. Like some weeks, like some of the weeks only have like 5 books, and that's not that's like the entire DC line. It's not just like.
Yeah, I know.
You're good. You're fine. Don't worry.
let me whinge for a minute.
Not when it's like, oh, I need to read Tamaki's Detective. Oh, the torture. Oh,
yes, I know. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the issue. I enjoyed the last issue. I think this last 2 issues have been kind of the best part of the run. I think I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah. No, I got nothing else to add with that one. It was just kind of it was just the end of the story. Like, it had been building, and Tamaki handles it well. The art's pretty good, which has been pretty consistent. I do like Steve Pugh a lot from his work with Flintstones. Mark Russell. He's Pugh did the art there, and I would say that it's not as good as the Flintstone stuff, but because it's so different. But I think Pugh handles the superhero stuff pretty well. And again, Bunny Dragon, like we had some fantastical stuff here.
I think the art's enjoyable enough. It's not my favorite style by any means, but I was definitely pleased as I was reading it. So I can't complain too much. What are you giving Wonder Woman?
I'm gonna give this one a solid 8.
I would go with a 7.5. I think that's mainly just because I'm a little disappointed that this isn't leading to more stuff beyond maybe just 2 future state issues. So, but yeah, so we'll go with that.